Wait, so you're telling me some physicists actually entertain the idea that we could know the future? Like quantum level spoiler alerts?
Yep, and apparently even big names, Bohm, Penrose, William James, debate if consciousness can peek through time. It's kind of wild, honestly.
We're asking the big question. Can you actually see the future? Or is it just coincidence and a trick of the mind?
This is The Voice That Knew, a skeptic's journey into precognition.
We are digging into the science, the stories, and the absolute weirdness of it all.
We've got 20 episodes to figure this out together. You're not going to want to miss where this ends up.
Welcome, everyone. We're glad you decided to join us.
Let's go.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on the experience itself, the strange, specific voice that knows the future, and we've looked at psychological explanations. But I keep wondering, are there any serious physicists or philosophers who've tried to build a model for how something like this could even be possible in our universe?
There are, and they're not just minor figures. We're talking about giants in their fields. Though, to be very clear, their ideas are far from mainstream. They mostly fall into three fascinating buckets: a philosophical model, a cosmological one, and a biological one.
Okay, let's start with the philosophical one. That feels gentler than diving straight into quantum physics.
Right. This brings us to the brilliant William James, one of the founders of American psychology. We touched on him back in episode 6, but his idea is so central. He proposed what's called the filter theory of consciousness.
The brain isn't a generator, it's a receiver. Or a filter, I guess.
Exactly. He suggested that our brains don't create consciousness. Instead, there's this vast, universal consciousness out there. He sometimes called it the mother sea, and the brain's job is to filter it down into a tiny, manageable stream that is our individual experience.
So it's basically protecting us from being overwhelmed by everything.
That's the idea. And in this model, an experience like precognition isn't you predicting the future. It's the filter momentarily loosening or glitching, letting a piece of information through that's normally screened out.
Information that's already just there? In the mother sea?
Yes, because if this universal consciousness is the foundation of reality, it wouldn't be bound by linear time. Past, present, future, it would all just be. So you're not seeing the future, you're just momentarily perceiving a broader slice of reality.
Okay, that's a huge philosophical idea. What about the cosmological one you mentioned? How does a physicist approach this?
This brings us to David Bohm, a physicist who worked with Einstein and is considered one of the most significant quantum theorists of the 20th century. He proposed a radical model of reality based on what he called the implicate and explicate orders.
Implicate and explicate? I feel like I need a translation.
Totally. The explicate order is the world we see and interact with. It's the universe of separate things, unfolding in space and time. But Bohm argued that beneath this, there's a deeper, more fundamental reality, the implicate order.
And in the implicate order,
Everything is enfolded into everything else. It's an unbroken, flowing wholeness he called the hollow movement. The best analogy he gave is one from the David Bohm Society. Imagine a drop of ink in a container of glycerin.
Okay.
You stir the glycerin slowly, and the drop of ink disappears. It seems to be gone, but it's not. Its pattern is just enfolded into the entire system. That's the implicate order. If you then slowly turn the handle the other way, the ink drop reappears. It becomes explicate again.
Whoa. So our reality, the explicate order, is just constantly unfolding from this hidden and folded universe?
That's exactly Bohm's argument. He saw particles, space, and even time not as fundamental things, but as temporary forms that unfold and then enfold back into this deeper reality.
Okay, I think I'm following the metaphor. But how does that allow for knowing the future? Is the future just another drop of ink that's already in the glycerin?
Essentially, yes. In the implicate order, which is non-local and exists outside of our normal conceptions of space and time, all information is enfolded. Past, present, future, it's all implicitly contained within the hollow movement.
So, precognition in this model would be what? Briefly seeing the pattern of the ink before the handle has been turned?
A perfect way to put it. It would suggest that consciousness isn't just a product of the explicate order. Bohm himself suggested that mind and matter share this same implicate structure. So if consciousness can, on some level, access that implicate order,
it could perceive information about an event before that event unfolds into our normal explicate reality. Huh. It's elegant. It's also making my brain hurt a little bit.
It's a huge concept. Bohm argued it required a whole new way of thinking, moving beyond simple cause and effect logic. But it provides a theoretical container where something like precognition isn't a violation of physics, but a potential feature of this deeper level of reality.
Okay, so we have James's filter and Bohm's enfolded universe. You said there was a third one, a biological model?
Right. This one tries to locate the mechanism right inside the brain. It's the orchestrated objective reduction theory, or ORC-OR, developed by physicist Sir Roger Penrose and consciousness researcher Stuart Hameroff.
ORC-OR. We've mentioned this one before in episode 6, but I feel like I need a refresher. This is the one about quantum stuff in the brain, right?
Exactly. They propose that consciousness isn't generated at the synapse level between neurons, but at a much deeper quantum level inside the neurons, within tiny structures called microtubules.
So our brain cells have tiny quantum computers inside them.
That's the core of the theory. They argue these microtubules can sustain quantum states, like being in multiple possibilities at once, what's called superposition. And a moment of consciousness is what happens when this quantum state collapses into a definite outcome.
A collapse? Like in the quantum eraser experiments we talked about in episode 5?
Very similar idea. Penrose calls it objective reduction, or OR. He believes this collapse isn't random. It's a real physical process tied to the fundamental geometry of spacetime. Each collapse is a single, discrete now moment.
So consciousness is just a series of these quantum collapses, one after another, like frames in a film.
Yes, according to Hameroff, happening at a frequency of about 40 times per second. And this is where it gets really wild and connects back to our topic. They argue this process has a feature called temporal non-locality.
Temporal non-locality. Okay, break that down for me.
Penrose and Hameroff suggest that the collapse, the moment of conscious choice, isn't strictly confined to the present. It has what they call retroactive effects. The choice made in the collapse can send ripples backward in time, just a little.
Wait, ripples backward in time? So an event now could be influenced by a choice that hasn't been made yet?
In a very, very small way, yes. A 2012 paper by Hameroff explicitly mentions that these quantum backward time effects could enable real-time conscious control. It's like our consciousness is constantly ratcheting into the future, but each click of the ratchet sends a tiny echo backward.
So a precognitive voice in this model would be what? Catching one of those echoes from a future now moment?
That's the hypothesis. It's a mechanism where information could, in principle, flow from the immediate future into the present conscious moment. It's a way of trying to explain precognition not as seeing a distant, determined future, but as a subtle quantum-level information leak from moments that are about to happen.
This is wow. It feels like it ties directly back to the retrocausality we discussed in those physics episodes. The idea that the future can influence the past.
It does. Orcor is essentially an attempt to build a biological framework for retrocausality right into the mechanics of consciousness itself. It's deeply speculative, but it's a direct attempt to tackle these temporal paradoxes head-on.
So we have three very different, very big ideas. The brain as a filter, the universe as a hologram, and consciousness as a time-traveling quantum computer. Do these theories fit together at all?
It's more like they offer explanations at different scales. James provides a high-level philosophical framework. Consciousness is bigger than the brain. Bohm offers a cosmological one. Reality itself is bigger than our notions of time and space.
And Penrose and Hameroff are trying to find the specific physical wires for it all in the brain.
Exactly. You could almost see them as nested. Maybe the mother C of William James is Bohm's implicate order, and maybe the filter that James talks about is the quantum collapse process of Orc-Or happening in our microtubules, which momentarily connects to that implicate order.
That's a neat way of tying them together. But I have to ask the obvious question. If these ideas are coming from such brilliant people, why aren't they more widely accepted?
Because they each face enormous hurdles. For William James, it's a philosophical model from before modern neuroscience. It's a beautiful idea, but how do you test for a universal consciousness?
Right. And Bohm?
His implicate order is often criticized as being more metaphysics than physics. It's a complete, consistent interpretation of quantum mechanics, but it doesn't make new, testable predictions that differ from the standard interpretation. So it remains a compelling but unproven alternative.
And Orc-Or, I imagine, has the most pushback, because it's making specific biological claims.
By far, the main criticism, which we've noted before, is decoherence. The brain is a warm, wet, noisy environment. Most physicists argue that any delicate quantum state in a microtubule would collapse almost instantly due to interactions with its surroundings, far too quickly to perform any computation.
So the quantum computer would basically short-circuit before it could even boot up.
That's the dominant view. Now, Hameroff and Penrose have proposed ways the brain might shield these processes, but it remains the biggest challenge to the theory. It's seen as biologically implausible by most neuroscientists and physicists.
So where does that leave us? We have these incredible, mind-bending theories from some of the most respected thinkers of the last century, but they all seem to hover just outside the realm of provable science.
And that's the essential tension. They provide what you might call conceptual solvency. They show how something as impossible seeming as precognition could theoretically fit into a coherent, albeit radical, view of the universe. They create a space for the possibility.
But they don't give us a concrete, proven mechanism.
Not yet. They represent the frontier where physics, biology, and philosophy meet the profound mystery of consciousness. They're not answers, but they are perhaps some of the most profound and challenging questions we can ask about the nature of time and our place in it.